Authority affects video games because by the end of the video game, you're meeting a boss very often. This boss gets very, very difficult. The longer you get into the video game, the more difficult the boss becomes, right? At the very end, the boss is the most difficult. And the boss being so difficult is because the boss has a lot of power. A lot of power means that this is power that you don't have. The boss has this power, you don't. You're there in some way in order to prove that you have this power. But you prove it by becoming a thing, a nothing. You disappear, you become nothing and disappear simply because you start doing whatever the video game asks of you. The video game starts asking of you things. It asks of you a bunch of things, very difficult things and very rapid fire things. So it starts asking, you need to jump left, right, up, down, jump, right? And it asks you to take care of a bunch of different potions, a bunch of different dresses and dress gear and stuff like that. So that in the end, it's asking so many things that you can't concentrate on anything else other than following whatever it is saying. At the end of the game, you lose your power, you lose your authority, you become simply a plaything for the video game, for the stimulus of the video game. And so the boss's power almost seems to stand in for the game. The game has become more powerful than you. The game is more powerful than you, has more inputs than you can have, and you can't take so many inputs, so you have to break down. You have to break down into something simpler, into a form of consciousness, a form of being that is way simpler than what you were before in some way, right? So you become simpler than the boss. You become easier than the boss. The boss is way more difficult than you. So you enter basically into a state of flow by the end of the game in which you've disappeared. You've disappeared, but the boss has appeared. In fact, the boss has appeared and is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger as you keep on going on throughout the game. Throughout the game, you meet sometimes like incarnations of this boss, or the boss in different forms, different minions of the boss, different sub-bosses, and they each are stronger and stronger. As you approach the boss, everything gets stronger and stronger. So as you approach the boss, things get stronger. As you need to get weaker, you need to surrender to whatever the game is asking of you. But the irony is that surrendering to whatever the game is asking of you is how you beat the boss. You surrender, and by becoming weak, you beat the boss somehow. Somehow you do that. So